We are back here at Desert Breeze. We're starting our third game of the morning. This is another elimination game between Eufaca and South Florida United. And on the first pitch, Mikey Gonzalez got a single to third base. On this pitch, Jerry Iglesias lines one right to the first baseman, and that is the first out in the inning here in the top of the first inning. We just had South Florida United winning their elimination game over the Philly Love. And there is a ground ball underneath the third baseman's glove and between his legs and on into left field by Joe Tanardini. And it'll be runners at first and second with a courtesy runner now for Eufaca. Where are they from?
Long Beach.
They are from Long Beach. Knowledge is power. All right, Armando Reynosa, the batter, with runners at first and second. Charles Dunn, the pitcher for South Florida United. And the first pitch is a strike call.
Wearing their best hoodie ever.
And that pitch is a little deep. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And here is a pop-up into no man's land. Second baseman goes out, and that Cini Garcia, he makes the catch. A pop-up to the second baseman results in the second out. And the wind has picked up even more. It's not a breeze here at Desert Breeze, it's a gale. Tommy Marquez, the batter. He swings and lines one up the middle, and the ball tails into right center field for a hit. A run, well, he is not going to score. He's going to hold up at third base. That's Mikey Gonzalez, the courtesy runner.
That ball did not quite make it out far enough to score the run, so probably a wise move. Good arms here in the B division.
Connor, the left-handed batter, will be next. And the first pitch to him is a ball. He bats from the left side. And he takes this pitch for a ball. It's 2 balls and a strike. And the 2-1 is in strike call. Looked a little bit inside from this spot, but called the strike, so it's full. And now here's a fly ball hit out into shallow right, well, to the second baseman. Wind caught a hold of it and blew it in a little further than it was hit. And all sorts of things happening here. That's the third out of the inning, and no runs come across for Eufaca here in the top of the first, which gives me an opportunity to introduce our friend. They call you the presumptive nominee for something, so I'll let you tell me what you're the presumptive nominee of. Just kidding. Jeff Sloan is with us now. It is really nice to see you. I was wondering when I was going to get to see you this weekend.
I know.
You've been busy with your team, though, right?
I have been. Yeah, we unfortunately laid an egg today, but we gave me time to get over here and talk with you, Rich, and it's good to be with you guys. Roman and Cloud Sports does a fantastic job, and good for you for braving the wind and the elements out here today.
It was rain yesterday and the wind today. I don't know which one I like worse. So you are the presumptive nominee to become the next commissioner of NAGA. Before I get into that, I'd like our audience to know what else you have done for NAGA that leads up to this. And while you're talking, we're going to be interspersing the play, okay?
Sure, no problem.
Okay.
This is going to be going into 15 years in NAGA for me, and I started at a young age, in my late 30s now, but started in my early 20s, and I found family with NAGA, and that's why I've decided to dedicate a lot of my life to serving the organization. So, over the last 4 to 5 years, spent a lot of time on the NAGA executive board, and started as the secretary, moved over to our first director of competition for the organization, and then most recently athletic director. So
let's go back a little further, though.
Yeah.
You used to write a column.
I did.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. Had an opportunity in the about 2012, 2013 to start a blog called Diamond Dish. The Diamond Dish was primarily there to promote LGBTQ softball and NAGA softball in particular, and had a great response to it, and it really filled a void with getting information directly to the members instead of it being filtered through delegates, and that's what we're going to try to emulate with NAGA in the future.
That's great. That is really great. Now, You've done your service in various other capacities. You want to be the commissioner. Why?
Because I think that Naga needs to really put a focus on its members, and a lot of them are out here on the field playing today, and we should be putting just as strong a focus and precise detail of focus on their needs and what's best for our members as they do with their teammates on the field.
Okay. Tell us what else you'd like to accomplish, though, in the time that you are the commissioner, because you are going to be the commissioner in just 2 short weeks,
I know.
right? 2 short weeks?
It's coming up, and I think that we're at a time of transition for the organization. I think that this is a transformative time for our organization, and we need to capitalize on really the market value and market share that we already have within the LGBTQ plus sports space. So we're excited to take advantage of some of those opportunities. Some might call them threats, but we're going to view them as opportunities. And I think that we have a lot of work to do in terms of making Naga continue to lead the LGBTQ plus space in sports and activities well into the future. We want us to be on the forefront of that for another 45 years.
All right, hang on just a second. I have one more thing I want to ask you. Spencer Hayes led off with a walk. Back-to-back singles by Charles Dunn and Omar Urea have given South Florida United a 1-0 lead, and the batter is Melvin Washington. The last time I saw you was when we were in Dallas for the World Series. Here's a fly ball hit out into right center field. Now the wind is playing havoc with it, and the ball drops in for a hit, and the bases are going to be loaded. They're going to send Charles Dunn all the way from third home, and on his way to third base is Urea, so it's 2-0. So the last time I saw you was in Dallas, and something very special happened to you that night. You were inducted into the Naga Hall of Fame. Talk about what that meant to you.
Meant a great deal to me. I have a great reverence for our history, and the Naga Hall of Fame, is a very special organization to be a part of.
Matt St. Clair just hit one over the fence, so that's the first of the 3 home runs. This is the second time he has homered today. He homered earlier. This one will plate 2, rather, and it is, it does plate 3. It is 5-0. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but I think that the Hall of Fame is, a pretty prestigious group of folks to be a part of. There's, less than 200 folks that are in the Hall of Fame, and Roy Mullaney, who heads up the Hall of Fame, said that there's been hundreds of thousands of folks that have passed through this organization in 45 years. So to be a part of it with the likes of yourself is high company indeed.
Thank you. You're going to do a great job. You're going to have a whole lot of support, and we're so delighted that you found time to stop by and talk to us today. Here's a base hit by J.J. Agostino, and we really do want to wish you every success and all the luck, and you have so many people that want to help you in your time as commissioner, so I hope that you'll lean on us, because we want to help, and we want to help you grow this organization.
Well, we appreciate all you do and all Joel and Roman does, and I think that the future's bright with Cloud Sports being a part of Naga softball, because
we like hearing that.
We want to continue to gain the exposure that this organization and its members deserve, and you guys are a big part of that.
Nice to see you, Jeff.
Great to be with you.
Thanks for coming in. All right. South Florida United picking up where they left off in the previous game. Solid hitting. And here's a fly ball hit out into right center field that drops in for a hit off the bat of Jacob Calero. It's always nice when you have celebrities that pop in to talk to you. The outgoing, the incoming, the baton to be passed in 2 weeks when the Naga winter meetings are held up in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. Here's Josh Yeager, and he takes the ball.
I agree with you. Great to see Sloan part of the organization for so long and stepping up to help out again.
And this next pitch is a ball. The count is 3-1. Jacob Calero is at first base with a single, and that pitch is a strike called. It's 3-2. After this game, I believe we have a break. And here is a slow roller back to the pitcher. He'll take the easy play at second base, as he was actually closer to second base. And so the force out is made, and that ends the inning Fielder's choice 1-6, and that completes the inning here in the bottom of the first inning. I have 5 runs while I was talking to Jeff. Do you have that, or do you have more than that?
No, I have 5 runs, and I just saw the Blue put 4 fingers in the thumb for 5 runs out to the team. So I think we have it right that it is now 5-0 in favor of the home team, South Florida United.
All right.
I almost said San Francisco. So we have some great sponsors who also help with the Sin City Classic and make it possible. And this year, Lexus is proud to once again be the presenting sponsor of the Sin City Classic. Lexus Experience Amazing. In addition to being a great partner, the car maker has once again been named a top employer by the Human Rights Campaign, earning a perfect score in the 2022 Corporate Equality Index. Also happens to be the car maker of choice for some of the members of the Cloud Sports team.
All right, we start here in the top of the second inning. Long Beach Ufaka trailing in the ball game.
Good. We listen.
And pitch is a strike. This is Tyler Grouse, who swings and grounds one into right field for a base hit.
So I couldn't quite hear the whole interview, Rich,
Yeah?
but I know you answered a lot of questions, but I just wanted to mention how much work that is. You know, as delegates, we go to those winter meetings, and it is busy, but the prep work, what they have to do to go from field to field for cities that might want to host, to check things out, to prepare things ahead of time, the Naga Cup, the World Series, it's almost another full-time job.
Ivan Braceno, the batter, absolutely correct. You know, one of the things that I wanted to ask him is how do they now do the process of determining where the Naga Cup is going to be? I think that may have changed over this last several years, and I just didn't remember to ask him that until now. Maybe I can get him back here to answer that. Braceno hits a pop-up on the infield, and the catch is made basket style by Josh Yeager, and that's out number 1.
Yeah, we might be able to get an answer. I can tell you a little bit about it because
Okay.
they still do that in the meetings. And cities or organizations tend to bid on the World Series, but as the World Series has grown, it's gotten harder and harder for cities to have enough fields to bid. Places like Columbus and Dallas that have done it in the past do. Minnesota obviously does for this year.
There's a pop-up hit into shallow right field. The ball drops in for a hit off the bat of Brian Rice. And it'll be runners at first and second with 1 out.
And so that's why the group up in Minnesota is so important for next year or for this coming year. But how to manage the size of the World Series is one of those questions the board is going to have to be working on, and it's been talked about for the past 2 or 3 years. It just keeps growing, and it's wonderful to have so many people excited to play, but you run out of fields and umpires at some point.
Benny Rodriguez is the pitcher, and he is also now the batter. The count is 3 balls and a strike. How many of the not winter meetings, but delegate meetings as a whole have you attended?
So I haven't really talked about it, but I am in my 4th year of as the commissioner of San Diego of America's Finest City Softball League. So I have, I believe, been to 6 or 7 of them now.
Okay. Oh, that's a lot.
So there's always a meeting in the wintertime at the same city where the World Series will be played in the summer. And actually, I take that back because there were virtual meetings for COVID.
Mikey Gonzalez hits one down the right field line. It carried into foul territory. Spencer Hayes made the catch, and on the play, Tyler Grouse comes home to score the first run of the game for Ufaka. And that is the second out in the inning. It'll bring up Jerry Iglesias. He lined to the first baseman in the first inning. Runners at second and third, and here's a fly ball hit deep to left center field. That ball's got some carry, and it's out of here. No lead is ever safe. It is now 5-4.
And that was a 3-run home run. Rich, I noticed it was a little hard to see players coming off the field and count them. If you hit the home run, you don't actually have to run the bases. You just have to run to first. So sometimes it doesn't look like the batter actually scored, but they did.
And here is a base hit to left field. It goes to the fence. The runner, however, Joe Tenardini, is on with a single. And that'll bring up Armando Reynosa. He popped to the second baseman in his previous at-bat.
Sorry, Rich, the wind decided I didn't need a pen and flung it right at you.
So Charles Dunn has get the pitcher for South Florida United will face Armando Reynosa with a runner at first base. There's a courtesy runner for Tanardini, and the first pitch is fouled to the right side, heads up, out of play. And the next one is deep. And the next one swung on and hit into right center field for a base hit. That ball will go all the way to the fence. The courtesy runner stumbles rounding second. He will come to third and score. There will be a throw to the plate, but it'll be late. And Mikey Gonzalez scores. The throw gets by the catcher, and on the play, Reynosa will get to third.
A lot of action out to right field today. I think that's wise. It often happens, but particularly today with this wind, it seems to be the trickiest out in right field.
So our game is now tied at 5. And there's a solid hit up the middle off the bat of Tommy Marquez, and that gives his team the lead as Reynosa scores the 6th run in the inning, and it's now 6-5. Drew Nakano will be the batter. And he takes the pitch inside for a ball. Tyler Grouse, who scored the first run in the inning, and by the way, this at bat means that the team is batted around. There's a strike called. It's 2-2. This is the 10th batter in the inning, and the ball hit off of St. Clair. He let it play him. The ball bounced off his chest, and there was no play. Charles Dunn was covering at first base correctly, but St. Clair didn't get the ball in time to make a play, so it'll be runners at first and second. And for the second time this inning, Tyler Grouse. He lifts one foul to the right side. He started this inning by singling, and he scored the first run of the ball game for Long Beach Ufaka. And the pitch is swung on and bounced back to the pitcher. He'll play to first. 3-1 on the putout, and the inning is over. But 6 runs do score for Ufaka here in the top of the second. We go to the bottom of the second. Our new score is the Long Beach Ufaka 6 and South Florida United 5.
Looked like what happened over on that play at first is that, one, the runner was hustling down the line and was going to make it a tough play regardless. But I think St. Clair had the ball in his glove because he was going to run, and then even though the pitcher did, as you point out correctly, make it over there, he couldn't throw it. He was going to have to flip it from his glove, which was going to be a little hard. And as we do the changeover, we're going to remind you about another sponsor. Tito's Homemade Vodka is once again the official vodka of the 6th annual Sin City Classic. Tito's is unflavored and distilled in old-fashioned copper pot stills, and because it's made from corn, Tito's is certified gluten-free. Drink some Tito's today. After all, dry January is overrated.
Overrated. And only with 2 weeks left. All right, the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the second is the last batter in the batting order for South Florida United. That's Jacob Cini Garcia. He has taken 2 pitches out of the strike zone, so the count is 3-1. And this one is a strike, full count. And that pitch is illegal, so it's a leadoff walk. Not what you want to do after your team has given you the lead. It's back to the top of the order, and Spencer Hayes, the batter, who walked and scored in the first inning. He bats here in the second inning.
And as we tried to work in J.J. Sloan there, we didn't quite cover the rules of the game for you, so we did like to mention that the batters do start with a 1-1 count. And what you're seeing here is a number of illegal pitches. The umpire signifies that by putting his left arm out, and that means it was either under 6 feet or over 12 feet.
And that pitch is a ball 3.
You can swing it in an illegal pitch if you want to.
And that is outside for a ball, and it's a 4-pitch walk, so to speak. Runners at first and second. Charles Dunn reached and scored in the first inning. That bounces on the plate.
And you're hearing the United bench say, be patient, be patient. When that many balls come in a row, sometimes the pitcher can get in his or her own head, and it's even harder to throw, so you just take the walk.
And that is 8 straight pitches that have failed to make the strike zone. Make it 9, and the bases are loaded on walks.
That one wasn't illegal, but I think it was probably a little bit deep in the umpire's estimation.
Omar Urias singled and scored. He drove in a run in his first at-bat.
And homered in a prior game, so you could see a grand slam here.
You could, that's true.
Actually hit for the cycle
He
last
sure
game.
did. I'd never seen that, ever. Not in softball. Here's a fly ball hit out into deep right field, and that ball is going to one hop to the fence. It will score 2, and Dunn will hold to third. Cini Garcia and Hayes both score, and so South Florida United has regained the lead with those 2 runs.
Probably deep enough to have actually scored 3, but the ball hung up there, and the runners had to wait and make sure that it wasn't going to get to the right fielder.
Here's Melvin Washington. He takes the ball, and he swings, and he hits one up the middle and on into center field for a hit. Dunn will score. Urea bobbles the ball out there, and so both runners are unable to advance, which means Urea scores, and Washington to second base.
And just like that, United has gotten 4 of the 6 they gave up in the last inning back.
And it is now 9-6 for Matt St. Clair. Benny Rodriguez decides he does not want to wear the helmet and tosses it back to the dugout. St. Clair swings and hits one to third. On one hop, a play by the third baseman, the out there. They'll throw back to third base and safe.
A little bit of excitement from the dugout there.
Matt St. Clair is out 5-3. Melvin Washington goes from second to third, and he almost had a play on him. It was very close. J.J. Augustino will be the batter. The home plate umpire wants the gentleman who is rooting for his team to get back in the dugout. Here's a grounder to second. Washington will score. The out made at first. They throw home to try to get Washington, but he beats the play, and an RBI ground out.
And the umpire there not trying to squash any enthusiasm. That's about safety. These balls fly hard, and even just being a step outside the protection of the dugout can put you at risk of getting hit with a hard hit ball when you're not looking.
Travis Johnson takes the first pitch. It's illegal for a ball. And the next one is swung on and bounced at the plate, foul. 5 runs have scored in the inning, just like they did in the first inning. So right now our score is 10-6. And the next delivery. Swung on and bounced to the right side. Fielded off the pitcher's glove. Fielded by the second baseman. He has... Oh, he's out!
Amazing play by the second baseman to recover, got in his glove, and we talked about a play where they couldn't get it out of his glove. He just flipped it from the glove and got it over to first base in time for the out.
So 5 runs come across. Walks hurt in that inning as the first 3 batters for South Florida all reached on walks and they all scored. We'll go to the top of the third, and our score is now South Florida United 10 and Eufaula 6.
Rich, we've talked about masks for the pitchers in a variety of our broadcasts as a safety issue, especially in leagues where the balls are getting hard hit. You notice the pitcher there actually took his mask off. My guess is he was hoping to change things up or get a better view. Maybe he thought that was why he was struggling to throw strikes early in that inning. Totally understandable, still a little scary sometimes as hard as these B players are hitting the ball.
Do you think it should be required that they wear a mask? Because I think you have told me you pitch.
I do pitch, and I started wearing a mask 3 or 4 years ago after one of our own pitchers in the AFCSL got hit, doing okay, but does have a scar from it. Many of us did after that as a compadre of ours. I actually, if it were to put to a vote, I would vote in favor of pitchers having to wear masks.
Ivor Braceno will lead off, and he hits the first pitch into foul territory in the left side. Urea, he catches it in fair territory. The wind, again, playing havoc, brought that ball back into fair territory, and Urea was able to make the catch, and that's out number 1.
I would say the two main arguments you hear against it are, one, that the mask limits your field of vision for defense. It does, somewhat. Depends a little bit on what kind of mask you wear, but I think it's well worth it, and I don't think you lose that many plays, and certainly if it hits a different part of your body, it's not as dangerous as if it hits your face.
Brian Rice, the batter, hits one out into right field. It's out number 2. I'm going to put you on the spot, Roman. Do you think masks should be worn?
Do I think masks should be worn
By the
as a
pitcher.
mandatory
By the
thing?
pitcher. Yes. Should there be a rule?
Yes.
And there is a sharp ground ball into left field for a base hit off the bat of Benny Rodriguez. He is a 2-out base runner.
The other argument you'll hear is sort of a freedom-based argument, just you shouldn't get to tell me what to do, and that one really just doesn't fly. These tournaments are private organizations that can set rules for safety. They have insurance requirements. We set other rules about throwing bats and things, so I think that is, people feel that way, but I think it's totally reasonable to institute the rule if people want it.
Mikey Gonzalez hits one into right center field for a hit. The ball tails past the right center fielder, Melvin Washington, and rolls all the way to the fence. So this will allow Rodriguez to score and Gonzalez all the way to third base, and it's now 10-7.
But things like masks are the kind of decision that Sloan and the team at Naga will have to deal with in the next few years.
Do you think this is something that they might discuss at the upcoming winter meetings or the summer meetings as they happen?
It might get discussed. It certainly gets discussed among the delegates, and anytime someone is injured in a tournament, it tends to come up again.
Jerry Iglesias takes the first pitch for a ball and hits this one out into right field. Spencer Hayes moving over to his left, makes the catch, and the inning is over. 1 run does score, and there were 2 hits in the inning, and we go to the bottom of the third. Our new score is South Florida United 10 and Long Beach Ufaka 7.
And we'll take this break to remind you that the 16th annual Sin City Classic is once again partnering with Caesars Entertainment, where every guest is treated like Caesar himself and every visit is unforgettable. At Caesars Entertainment Group of Hotels, you'll find spacious rooms, friendly staff, and exciting casinos, sportsbooks, and world-class shows. Visit Caesars.com for more information. I think, Rich, what it would really take to institute a mask rule is a few members actually very much pushing it. It's been discussed, but I've never seen anybody sort of whip a vote and start calling other delegates and saying, I'm going to put this up, I need your vote, and walk in with a majority. I think it might be possible, but it would take somebody really trying to rally the votes to get it done and overcome the arguments.
All right, here's the leadoff batter, Jacob Calero, skying one out into right center field, and the catch is made. And that's out number 1, Drew Nakano making the catch.
And we can hear the dugout saying, level it out, level it out. That just means try to hit the line drives, not the fly balls.
Josh Yeager, the batter. And he grounds one to the shortstop. On the first, 2 out. Putout goes 6-3. Mikey Gonzalez on over to Tommy Marquez, and that will bring up Jacob Cini Garcia, who walked and scored. He started that 5-run second. The first pitch is illegal for a ball. And that pitch, you could see the wind got a hold of that one. Boy, that was so obvious.
And I would guess that in terms of difficulty pitching, that's more the difficulty than the mask.
And that's another walk.
Because what can happen in a wind like this is if you throw it flat, it's too short, but as soon as you give it arc, the wind can catch it and drive it back. So to find the sweet spot where it has enough lift and tailwind to get over but not go too far is tough.
Spencer Hayes has walked and scored, and he has walked and scored. And he takes a strike and now takes a ball. We have a great sight line here. We are directly behind home plate, and we could see one of those pitches that started out towards the plate and then curved outside. This pitch stays inside, and it's 3-2. 2 outs in the inning with a runner at first base, and the 3-2 pitch is hit in the air foul, and the inning is over. So, no run score here in the bottom of the third. Visitors' half of the fourth inning about to start. South Florida United leads by the score of 10-7.
And another thing about the pitching, Rich, is just we are getting to the time of day where these teams may have played 3 or 4 games yesterday as well as 3 or 4 today, and you do just start to get a little bit tired. Pitching is more about the legs than a lot of people might think, and sometimes you have to reset yourself, loosen up, make sure that you can still get some bounce from your legs as you carry that pitch over the plate.
What is the most number of games that you've ever pitched in a single day?
I believe I pitched 5 in a single day once, in a tournament where my team had done very poorly the first day, and so we were sort of digging our way out of the losers bracket, and we went pretty far but not that far. But yeah, I think it was 5 in a day was the most I pitched.
Was that in San Diego or in another city?
I think it was
I asked
in Phoenix.
because there's a weather consideration there too.
No, I believe it was actually might have been in Phoenix.
Only 5?
Roman also a pitcher, so let's see what his record is.
8?
You pitched 8 games in one day?
Yes, because we forgot to show up on Saturday.
I don't know what that means, but I'm sure you do. Joe Tannerdini will lead off, and he hits the first pitch foul down the left field line. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Josh Yeager is signaling for the left fielder to come in a few steps. Here's the next one. He swings and grounds one to second base. On to first for the out. That's Jerry Iglesias on to Matt St. Clair, and that is that's Jacob Cini Garcia to Matt St. Clair, and that's out number 1. Here's Armando Reynosa. He has popped the second baseman. He has tripled and scored, driven in 2, and he walks. Tommy Marquez, the batter. He's been on twice. And the first pitch to him is a strike call. It's a ball and 2 strikes. And there's a swing and a grounder to third off the third baseman's chest. He makes no play. He has no play as the ball rolled a little bit away from him, so it'll be runners at first and second.
And I think what's particularly difficult for these pitchers is that this wind is gusting. If you have a steady wind, you can learn to adjust to it, and you can even use it to your advantage to maybe, throw a pitch where the wind's going to move it away or towards the batter. But it's hard to know what the wind speed is going to be like when you release that ball right now.
Grounder to first base, St. Clair fields it. He'll go to second for the force out. The play will go 3-6 on the play. Reynosa to third. Marquez is out at second. And on at first base is Drew Nakano, and that will bring up Tyler Grouse, the left center fielder. And the first pitch from Charles Dunn, swung on and fouled to the right side. Tyler Grouse is singled and scored. He is also grounded out to the first baseman on which the pitcher covered, and he hits one up the middle and into right center field for a base hit. A run scores as Reynosa crosses the plate. Holding at second base will be Nakano. And it is now 10-8 for Ivor Braceno. He has popped to the catcher and he has popped to the shortstop. Here's the next delivery. And that pitch sails outside. The count is 3 balls and a strike. And the 3-1 is a pitch called the strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 out. And the pitch is popped up in foul territory, and the one-handed catch made by the catcher ends the inning. Another run, though, does score for Long Beach Ufaka, so they are a little closer now. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It is now 10-8.
You know, you saw Briseño take that second to last pitch and just try to walk off to first base. I believe, honestly, the umpires are going to call the same way, but I think if somebody leaves, I think you're more at risk of angering the umpire than you are at not getting the pitch.
Never show him
I
up.
just stand there until the umpire calls the ball and then decide what I got to do. I don't think you're going to convince the umpire it was a ball by walking away.
Not at all. All right, we head to the bottom of the 4th. It is 10-8. South Florida United looking to advance. Long Beach Ufaka looking to advance. The loser of this game is finished for the tournament, and they get to go back and warm up at the hotel. All right, Charles Dunn leads off, and he takes the first pitch outside.
Dunn knowing better than anybody other than this pitcher how hard it is out there, being patient.
And that pitch outside, ball 3. The 3-1 outside, ball 4.
And Dunn moving there, that wasn't to try to convince him it was a ball. That was just to mess with his pitching colleague out there. Sometimes you'll see people move up and back in the box or stand very close to the plate just to try to give the pitcher a different view.
Here is Omar Urea. He has reached twice. He has scored twice. And the next pitch to him is after a ball is illegal for ball 3. And the next one on this pitch is a strike called. Full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at first, nobody out. And that is ball 4.
I think that one might have caught the tail back end of the plate because otherwise it looked pretty good.
It looked that way to me too, but Melvin Washington will be the batter. I know better.
And it looks like we're switching pitchers here, Rich.
So Benny Rodriguez will go to second base. And it looks like Jerry Iglesias was going to be the new pitcher. And he will pitch to Melvin Washington, who has reached twice and scored twice, and the first pitch is in for a strike. And the pitcher, working quickly, induces a fly ball hit out into right center field. The catch is made, and that's the first out of the inning as Nakano makes the catch in right center field, out number 1 for Matt St. Clair.
And I think this made sense to try something different since there were a lot of walks going on. And sometimes a style of pitching, whether that's a back flip or inside-outside, can just make it a little bit easier to play with the wind.
Matt St. Clair takes the ball. And he lines one, and a backhanded stab by the third baseman who throws to first, but no chance on a double. But a nice play by the third baseman.
Beautiful play. That ball was scorched, and he had to do it on the backhand side and low.
There's a fly ball hit out into right field, foul off the bat of J.J. Augustino.
I think he was looking to the right side all the way and got a pitch he could do it with, but it was a little further outside than he probably wanted.
That's Brian Rice, by the way, who is playing third base for Ufaka. And the next one is hit in the air to right field. And almost in his strikes. Right fielder makes the catch, and the inning is over. A scoreless fourth inning for South Florida United. We go to the top of the fifth. It is still South Florida United 10 and the Long Beach Eufaula 8 here on the Cloud Sports Network.
Another gold level sponsor of the 16th annual Sin City Classic is ViiV Healthcare. ViiV Healthcare is committed to delivering innovative new medicines for the care and treatment of people living with HIV and for the prevention of HIV. At ViiV, their mission is to leave no one behind. Find out more at ViiVHealthcare.com. That's ViiV Healthcare.com. And the umpire just confirmed the score for us. It is 8-10 in the top of the fifth.
All right, Charles Dunn is the pitcher. They have made a couple of moves. Travis Johnson has moved from third base to behind the plate. And there is a new third baseman. I can't read his number. First pitch as we start here in the top of the fifth to Brian Rice is hit in the left field for a base hit.
I think that is Calero, Jacob Calero, who was in left field, who is now at third base.
Okay. And that means that Josh Yeager is now in left field. I can tell you that for sure because he's the only one that's wearing a jacket for his team. And here's Benny Rodriguez. Takes the ball. And a swing and a grounder to second base. Sena Garcia bobbles the ball, but recovers in time, flips to the shortstop, Urea, and they get the out, so they get the lead runner, and that's out number one. 4-6 on the putout. And we swing back to the top of the order, and Mikey Gonzalez, who has singled, hit a sacrifice fly, and he has also tripled. And he goes opposite field and hits one to right field. Down the line, cut off by Hayes, who bobbles it in foul territory. This is going to play to run as Rodriguez scores. Gonzalez on his way to third will pull up there with an RBI triple. So his second straight at bat with a triple. This one plates a run, and so this will bring up Jerry Iglesias, who is now the pitcher.
Those balls to right field just continue to tail over to the corner, making it hard plays for the outfielders.
And the first pitch to Iglesias is lined into right field past the outstretched attempt of Matt St. Clair, and a run will score. Hayes gets the ball back in quickly, so no further advancement. But an RBI single off the bat of Jerry Iglesias, and it ties our game. Joe Tanhardini, the batter. And the first pitch is a ball. The next one swung on and hit to the right side, foul. And the next delivery swung on and hit in the air to left field. Josh Yeager draws the beat. He makes the catch. Runner from first will tag, and on his way to second, he is safe. The ball gets by the second baseman, but it's backed up by Matt St. Clair. Good base running by Iglesias to put himself into scoring position.
Good backup by Sinclair, because I think he would have been at least a third if Sinclair hadn't been backing up that play.
So here's Armando Reynosa. With two out, the first pitch is a ball. Here's the next one. A swing and a fly ball hit out into shallow left center field. Coming on to make the catch is the left center fielder, and that is the inning. Catch made by J.J. Augustino. 2 runs have scored, though, here in the top of the fifth, and that ties our game. We are heading to the bottom of the fifth, and the score is tied at 10.
One of the reasons, Rich, that I think ever pitched 5 games in a day is I was always lucky enough to have another pitcher on my team who could play. As we've sort of mentioned at different times, not all these teams have the luxury of bringing a second pitcher, and then you also have to think about where you're going to have to pull that player from that they might more normally play better than anybody else. There's just also so few B players around the leagues these days that it's hard. These teams, many teams in D and C, you'll see with 12, 15 people on them. The B teams tend to be smaller because it's just hard to find people with the quality of play level that they need to play in B.
Travis Johnston to lead off in the bottom of the fifth. Our game is tied at 10. And we have another pitch that has been deemed illegal. And the next one is inside, and he walks. It is Armando Reynosa who is playing third base for Long Beach, and Brian Rice is the catcher. We have a courtesy runner as J.J. Agostino will run for Travis Johnston. The batter will be Jacob Calero. His team is tied. It is 10-10. The count is 3 balls and a strike. And the next one is a strike called. Full count, 3-2. Pitcher works quickly. There is a bouncing ball back to the pitcher. He throws to short for one, and on the attempt to make the throw, the ball pops out of his hand. So all they'll get is the force out, and the force out will go 1-6.
And the Blue is explaining something here. The question on that play when the ball pops out is often, do you get the out? And the rule is generally regarded as what's called on the transfer, which means if you got the ball in your glove, you tag the bag, that's the out. If you try to get the ball out of your glove to throw it and you lose it, then the out still counts because you were on the transfer.
By the way, South Florida United is the home team in this game, and we must be low on time because the catcher went over and said they're trying to run out the clock. All right, the batter is going to be Jacob Cini Garcia. And he takes a strike. Yeah, I'm questioning this too. Here's a ground ball to second. Over to the shortstop for one. There'll be no play at first base is made. It's a double play. Do you get the impression that they batted out of order?
I think that was Yeager, actually. That may have been Yeager who hit that. But if it was Cini Garcia, then yes, they were out of order.
It was Cini Garcia. It was this gentleman right here. Well, okay.
But whatever the time was, that was the bottom of the fifth, and that was the home team, and so we're going to have more softball here. Some of the teams you're seeing here at the 16th annual Sin City Classic will be finishing up today, but they may be playing in the 2023 Gay Softball World Series, which will be in Minneapolis, Minnesota from August 28th to September 2nd. The Twin Cities Good Time Softball League and Sports Minneapolis will be looking forward to hosting this 46th annual Gay Softball World Series. You can find more information at lightupthenorth.org, lightupthenorth, all spelled out.org, and I just heard the beeping, which means time has probably expired,
yes,
so this will be the last inning.
Tommy Marquez to lead off here in the top of the sixth. Drew Nakano and Tyler Grouse will follow. 10-10 our game. There's a fly ball hit foul to the left side. A long strike. A ball and 2 strikes. And the next delivery. Swung on and lined up the middle and on into center field for a hit, and the ball will roll. Off the fence, at the base of the fence it goes. It'll be a leadoff double. To Drew Nakano. There'll be a courtesy runner. I think that's a 5. Mikey Gonzalez to come in to be the courtesy runner for Tommy Marquez, and Drew Nakano, the left-handed batter, is now at bat. First pitch to him. He swings and grounds one to the second baseman. On one true hop, the play to first in time, and on the play Gonzalez takes third. He is the go-ahead run with one out, and the batter Tyler Grouse. And the first pitch to him is a strike called. A ball and 2 strikes. Swung on and a bouncer underneath the second baseman's glove and into right field for a hit, and the lead run is scored. It's an RBI single for Grouse. Will bring up Briseño, the right fielder, Ivan Briseño, with a runner at first base, 1 out and 1 run in. It's 11-10 for Long Beach Eufaula. And there is a fly ball hit out into left field. Left fielder gives chase. It's over his head. It hops to the fence. And this will put runners on second and third. The ball comes in as a clean relay. And so runners at second and third now with 1 out. It's a double for Briseño and will bring up Brian Rice, the catcher.
And while it got over the left fielder's head, I think he did a good job of pretending he was going to catch it, because I think that's what kept a run in by freezing the base runner.
The first pitch is a ball. And the next pitch is a ball. It's 3-1. Long Beach has a very vocal and very animated third base coach. It's Ernest Solano. He's been very vocal in this game. And that pitch is outside. I'm sorry, the pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. And the next one is hit in the air, right center field, deep enough to get a run home. Right fielder moves over, makes the catch. Here's the tag. They'll throw back into second base. No advancement by the runner at second base. However, Grouse comes home to score on the sacrifice fly to the right fielder. It's out number 2, and Benny Rodriguez will be batting with the score 12-10. Rodriguez swings and grounds one. St. Clair makes a diving backhanded stop, recovers and throws, and the runner is safe at first base. Made a great stop to get the ball and then tossed it done, but a little more speed by Rodriguez makes the play a single. It'll be an infield single, and on the play, Briseño to third base. And we are back to the top of the order, and here is Mikey Rodriguez batting for the 5th time in this game. He has tripled in his last 2 at-bats. And he swings and goes into right center field, and the ball off the glove of the right center fielder and will go all the way to the fence. A run has scored. Another run has scored. Benny Rodriguez, they're going to hold Mikey Gonzalez at third base, and for the 3rd straight at-bat, he has reached third base.
And that ball had a lot of spin on it. It was also going out to that right field area where he said the wind has just been playing tricks with the outfielders. And I think it looked like the right center fielder thought he had it and lined up and just went over his head, carried a little too far, and he couldn't quite bring it down.
So this has been a very productive inning for Eufaula. They have scored 1, 2, 3. I have 4 in the inning. Pitch hits the plate. There's still a runner at third base, and Mikey Gonzalez. Winner advances, loser goes home. And that pitch is a strike, and the count is full of 3-2. There's a line drive into right center field, and that's another hit, and that is another run as Gonzalez scores on the base hit by Jerry Iglesias, and that'll bring up Joe Tantardini.
Wanted to go back to that play at first base that almost got them out of this. That dive by St. Clair was amazing to get the ball, but the second baseman was right behind him. The problem is St. Clair has no way to know that when he's looking at the ball. Might have gone better if he had just been able to go to the bag and let the second baseman play it.
Agreed. There's a ground ball to the shortstop. Urea playing deep, forces the out at second base, the force out at second base, as the pitcher covered second base, so the putout will go 6-1. But a very productive inning for Eufaula. They have scored 5 runs, and we go to the home half of the 6th inning. Our score is now 15-10. Thank you. 15-10 in favor of Eufaula, with their last at bat.
The 16th annual Sin City Classic is also proud to partner with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they are proud to celebrate their LGBTQ plus fans around the world with their annual Pride Night. The Dodgers should be announcing their 2023 Pride Night soon, so follow them on social media or visit Dodgers.com for more information.
So, I will.
Rich, I'm afraid to talk about the tiebreaker because yesterday I made it happen.
Yeah. All right, so the leadoff batter is Josh Yeager. And he takes the first two pitches for balls. It's 3-1, and that pitch bounces in front of the plate. So I will definitely tell you, here's Spencer Hayes who takes the ball, that they have batted out of order.
I thought that was what you might saying, and I have to agree with you because, as you said, you know who Yeager is by the jacket.
Because I looked at your scorebook to make sure that I didn't copy my scorebook wrong, and here's another walk. I'm really surprised that has not been caught by the opponent, but okay, never mind. It's all in the name of competition. All right, Charles Dunn, the batter. First two batters draw walks, and so first and second. Here's the next delivery. Swing and a line drive into right field for a base hit. Josh Yeager comes around third. He will score. Spencer Hayes to third. It's first and third. It's 15-11. Hayes to third base. Omar Urrea, the batter. And he takes the pitch for a strike. It's a ball and two strikes. He'll protect the plate on this one. And he swings and lifts one into right center field. The ball is shallow, giving chase. And no play. The ball bounces. And two runs, well, one run will score. Spencer Hayes scores. They'll hold Charles Dunn at third. It is a double for Omar Urrea.
I am just glad I am not playing right field today because this wind and the spin that these balls are coming off with is just being awful out there.
Another ball that just found that in-between spot. It would have been a fantastic play by the right fielder, Ivan Briseño, but the ball just dropped and it goes as a double. Here's Melvin Washington, takes the ball, now takes the strike, and he is the tying run. There's a line drive up the middle and on into right center field for a hit. A run scores. Urrea will hold third. There is no reason to chance it with nobody out. It's 15-13. Matt St. Clair, the batter. And I think they still have one more home run that they can deposit over the outfield fence.
We are thinking alike, and I believe St. Clair has one of those home runs, so absolutely has the power to do it. Could end this game with one swing.
Here's the next one. Illegal, ball 3. So the two walks that started the inning have both come home to score. The next one is a strike called. That makes it 3-2. Nobody out. Runners at first and third. There's a ground ball in the hole off the shortstop's glove into left field. Urrea needing to make sure that the ball would not be fielded, held third. So now the bases are loaded. As Washington is at second, St. Clair is at first. St. Clair's run is the winning run. And this is J.J. Augustino's at bat. Here's the first pitch to him. He swings and goes up the middle for a base hit. Urrea scores. It's 15-14. Melvin Washington scores. And now the ball gets by the outfield and Matt St. Clair scores.
So a 3-run single double for Agostino gives the United the go-ahead run.
And that is it. A rally in the bottom of the sixth, 6 runs scored. They never did make it out. And the final score in our ball game, South Florida United 16 and Long Beach Ufaka 15. South Florida will advance. And the series, Sin City, is done for Long Beach. They did well. But it'll be South Florida United advancing. We are going to take a break and warm up and recharge. We will be back in an hour. We want to thank you for joining us for this game and for all of our tournament action here from the 2023 Sin City. For Dr. Joel Tremblay for Roman Jimenez, Mitch Barnes, and Jay Adams, my friend. Rich Siegel saying we'll talk to you again in just about an hour.
So, as part of our bonus coverage, because we didn't have a tie game in there, although it was looking like it was going to be pretty close there, I am happy to introduce you to those of you who don't know. This is Mark Sakalaris joining me, and we're going to talk briefly about Naga Cup coming up here over the Memorial Day weekend in Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City at Larry H. Miller Fields and Valley Regional Complex, softball complex.
Do we have any idea about roughly throw a ball at a number about how many teams you're expecting?
I'm really hoping that we see between 24 and 30 A and B teams at the tournament this year. Should be a really good turnout.
Now, Salt Lake City isn't one of the current sort of cities that are involved in the Naga group. So tell me about the benefits of going outside of one of those cities to bring it to a location like Salt Lake.
Salt Lake has a great community, and we've been there. We've met with them. We've worked with them, and they're growing, and they want to become part of Naga. And they came to us and said, how can we be part of this? How can we get involved? And they said they wanted to bring a Naga Cup into town. And working with them, it's been a really good result so far. I have no doubts in my mind it's going to be great to work with them.
Now, one of the sort of unknown things about Salt Lake specifically is that it is sort of an oasis in a fairly conservative state. I think we can probably address the elephant in the room. But Salt Lake itself is not at all. It is home to a very conservative church, but the people there, they have a vibrant gay community, they have a vibrant queer community, and a pretty active sports environment.
They really rolled out the red carpet for us when we were in town for our site visits and for our meetings that we've had with them. And yes, their gay community is thriving. It's growing. It's active. They're busy. They're always wanting to do more. We're really excited to be going there. And like you said, the oasis in the middle. That's where we're going to be. And I love that. I love that. Here we are. And we're going to put on a good show. I know that.
You plant the Naga flag right there in the middle of Utah, and well, I guess the northern part of Utah.
Well, one of the things that the hotel group there, and we're going to be using the Hilton downtown is going to be our host hotel.
Oh, great.
But one thing about the hotel is that's the weekend of Pride there as well. So they tell us that they showed us pictures of what they've done in the past for Pride, and they're going to plant, as you mentioned, the Naga flag on a 60-foot flagpole right there in front of the hotel, surrounded by gay flags.
Oh, that's just perfect. That's just perfect. Well, thanks very much. I know you had to come a long, long way to come and get here, so we really appreciate it. You're playing, so and with your team today, is that right?
We lost a rough one this morning. Went down by 1 in the last inning, but you know what? We came out, we fought, we froze. But it's the desert.
Right. Right. Well, thanks a lot, and the desert and the location for the 2024 Naga Gay Softball World Series.
Can't wait to get out here. This is going to be just another great time in October, so it's going to be hopefully a little different weather than we have right now.
All right, thanks a lot, Mark. And we're going to take a quick hour break. We'll be back at 1 o'clock. No, this is 1 o'clock now. We'll be back at 2 o'clock, and then we'll have some championship coverage for you after that. So we'll be back in a bit with the better broadcaster, Rich. Thanks a lot.